Greetings. Thank you so much, everyone. Today's another beautiful day here. We get to be in nature. My name is Primal Sun with the Primal Sun Foundation, and today I'm very excited to answer another question or address another topic based on the teachings that we were laying the foundation for here in this series of introductory videos. So we covered a few topics already. The primordial blueprint, what is it? And we covered who is this for, men, women, or both. These are our last two videos. You can go and check those out. And so now this video is the primordial blueprint, God within. And how do we know, and why do we have some sort of nerve to say something like this that is so controversial to the masses, to the most top religions of the world, to these institutions that would not agree with this? And how do we know this to be true? And what is really being said here? And can you go deeper and explore into this topic? And I'm so happy and honored to. So, God within, how do we know the creator, the existence itself, creation itself is inside of us? Well, simply because we exist. This is the first thing. We exist. We get to experience love. We get to experience connection. We get to experience joy. We get to experience sadness. We get to experience anger. We, in this human experience that we're in, because we can all relate that we're in human physical bodies made up of earth, made up of fire, made up of water, made up of air. We're all made of these things. We're all influenced by these fundamental elements, and we are all animated through these elements. So this is the very beginning of how we know that, because we can see that creation is inside of us, that creation is animating our bodies, that the fire is in our hearts, that the warmth of our blood, the warmth of our spirit, meaning that we are not just these physical bodies, in the sense that when we are to die, and let's say there's a funeral and they're there worshiping and or just saying goodbye to the body, the person already left. The spirit, the energy of that individual, the energetic signature has left. So we are not just these bodies, which means that we are the creation, and before the creation um we are these bodies temporarily, and then we are something that leaves the body as well, and something that comes into the body. We are before and after. And they say that God is neither born nor dies. Now we look deep into our spirit and our soul, and we know someone that has transcended. We know someone that has left this plane, and we still feel like we can connect to them in that way, because truly only their body was born and died, but their spirit has not been born and died. And so when we say that, how is God within us? We have the same components and qualities of the great creation already inside of us. It is how we live. It is how we animate our bodies. Now, most of us may be asleep or ignorant to these qualities that actually connect us to the greater existence. This is why we can no longer see God as separate from us, because majority of the planet right now sees creation and the creator as separate. They see that the being or the energy or the force that created this world is not actually in this world, is somewhere in the sky, or somewhere that you need to work very hard to get into his kingdom, or get into his realm, or get into the realm of into his abode, basically. Now, what we see in nature, though, because in nature is a big part of this creation of this earth. Actually, it's not the cities. It's actually before the cities there was just pure nature. And all of the elements necessary for life can be found in nature, because nature is essentially the mother. And so we have to see that there is a father and a mother. Just again, the formula is in your own very life. You were born from father and mother, whether they're together or not, whether they separated when you were younger or not. There were still two components that made the one, which is you, that actually completed the cycle, the trinity, and the formula of this existence, so that it can keep going and keep advancing forward. So this is how you were created. You were made up of the two necessary components for life. So we must honor the father and the mother. We must honor the father because he has planted his seed on this earth. And the earth, the mother, is the one who allows for, with her patience and grace, the entire process of our unfolding to happen as humanity and as individual souls. So we see in nature, how is God within? We see in nature, we can say God has planted his seed on this planet. The creator has embarked on the creation. And just very simply, if we look at trees, each tree has some sort of fruit, whether it's edible or not edible. Each tree has a berry or a seed, right? So the tree itself grows up, and at a certain season or time of its phase, it will give fruit. Again, whether edible or not, whether it's a pine cone or an avocado, the pine cone still has the pine seed in it to give birth. So it's not just limited to the things you eat, but it's everything gives some sort of seed. And now we see in this seed, there is the formula, the memory, the entire blueprint for that seed to become tree and give its own fruits one day, to continue the cycle of life, to continue the of life and death, basically, or birth and transmutation, birth and change. So the seed within it does not need another uh, tree or us to tell it what it's going to be. It already knows what it's meant to be. It already knows what it's going to become. Inside of it, it has all the potential to become this beautiful, great, massive tree. So what does this mean? This means the Creator has put his light inside of us. The light of God, of creation, of the source, has been put inside of us so that we may grow up one day. We may be actually born one day into a greater realization, into self-realization, so that we can embark on this journey of actually being born, growing up, and then fully embodying, showing up with our spirit in line, with our spirit in our bodies, truly, fully realized. Now, whether we are aware of it or not, we all have this component inside of us, and that's what makes everyone unique. But now to really allow yourself to experience your individual blueprint and how it connects you to all that is. God has put his light inside of you so that you can realize how you may connect to the greater whole, to the greater forest, to the greater existence. You would not be in here if God was not within you, because how can you connect to God if we know that the external circumstances are temporary? Everything outside of us is temporary. Even these trees behind me are temporary, because one day they will surely fall. It may be 200, 500 years until it does that. But at some point in time, in natural cycle, it will fall. But before then, it will give its seeds to back to the earth so that it can replenish and 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 hold the memory of creation once again. And this is why it's so important that we exist here on the planet. So, God being within us, source being within us, how do we know that to be true? Well, for one, we exist. We exist here now, and there's something greater happening to us. There's something, a greater mystery in front of us that we get to live. Now, creation or God is not against you. It wants you to unravel yourself and learn the experiences you're meant to learn, so that you may return back into the source fully complete, fully realized, fully known. It's like a child coming back to the parents, back to the father. Hey, father, this is what I did today. Oh, good job, son. You may rest now. You may eat now. You may enjoy now because you did the work necessary for you to get to this point. And so we are a memory on this planet. We are a memory of God on this planet. And that's why we get to exist. Because truly the essence of creation is for the higher good, is for the balance, is for the upliftment of humanity, is to oversee the contentment of the soul. Now, I don't want to get too far out here. I want to keep this fundamental and comprehensive for everyone. So, just to summarize here again, God is within us because we exist. We have a heart that beats. We have in we have a life in us that wants to be lived. Now, that right there shows you that there's a greater force than you can uh, take a hold of right now. And so, right, so we exist. Next, the elements. Everything is inside of us. So how can God not be inside of us when God created this? And then the trees, the seeds, everything is birthed from inside. Again, it's all symbolic. So even the seeds have to go in the soil. Even we have to go into ourselves to realize ourselves. Again, everything on the external is temporary. So how can we say God is outside of us if he is everlasting, if he is eternal? How can we put him out there if everything we see out there has a beginning and an end? So it just cannot be that way. It must be a greater truth. There must be a higher fulfillment. There must be a higher knowing, a higher wisdom that takes us beyond. Now, yes, ultimately, I will say that we cannot be separate from God as we cannot be separate from creation. Because to separate ourselves is to punish ourselves, is to reject ourselves, is to push ourselves to the side. When we within us hold the answer and the greater key to the mystery of creation. So with that being said, I just want to say thank you so much, and just honoring that we are now at a point and we get to actually speak on such truths that enable us to find the deeper meaning to our existence. And this is what the primordial blueprint is all about. Just about finding a deeper meaning, the truth encoded in your life, and how you can gather all the sticks, all the pieces to build the fire of your heart, to ignite the light that shines every step you take on this beautiful path. So that's what it's all about. And I just want to say thank you. And I love you. This is Primal Sun, the Primal Sun Foundation. Please send us any questions through our email. We might even make a video based on that question. And, just do the YouTube thing. If you like this, like it, share, subscribe it. Whatever it is you feel is necessary. And we're going to keep coming more and more with these teachings based on the everlasting truth of our spirit and the great spirit that guides us every day in every way. So thank you, Father. Thank you, Mother. And thank you to all her children and all those that are growing up also now and stepping into a higher responsibility as catering to the existence in the most righteous and purifying way that we may know how. And to our hearts. May we live in that way every day. Thank you so much. I love you.